they get together, it just looks good. All right, Patrick, who do you like? Alabama taking on Michigan. Michigan, who knocked off
Alabama.
State.
What rematch? Yeah, Bama by 30.
I'm with you. I'm going to ride. Zach. I'm going to jump you here. I'm going to ride Patrick. Give me Alabama, and I think they may put a number on Michigan. But don't you love when those two uniforms get together? It was special last year. It's just special. Zach, what do you think? Alabama taking on Michigan in the bowl game. Who do you like?
Oh, yeah, I'm going Alabama as well. I mean, they got the better players, yeah.
We're going the straight SEC sweep. And you know what? On top of that, Michigan probably did their dirty deed by knocking off Ohio State, right? Even though it didn't keep them out of the playoff, I think Michigan's season ended the minute the flag was planted, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, that was their Super Bowl. Yeah.
I think that was their Super Bowl. All right, guys, two more real quick. We'll take a break. Bring Brent Beard. This is another game, and Zach, I'm going to let you lead this one off. This next game we got to pick. It could be just a meat grinder of a game. It may not be pretty. It may not be high scoring. South Carolina taking on Brett Bielema and the boys from Illinois could be a grinder of a game. Zach Rothrock, how do you see this bowl game? Who are you taking, Zach?
Well, I mean, come on. Okay. I mean, you give me Dylan Stewart, Kyle Kennard, Lenora Sellers. I'm taking them against anybody, especially this Illinois team. I'm frankly disrespected they got to play in this game.
Are you confident? Are you confident right now you can knock off the Big Ten? Are you confident?
I am scarily confident in the Gamecocks. I hate to be this confident. Scarily confident.
Oh, Zach, I've known you a long time, Zach.
I know. I'm never confident in these guys.
I've seen you just get crushed. Patrick Young, South Carolina, what a year. What a crazy year. Illinois, they don't play sexy football. Know, right? Brett Bielema plays a little bit of Big Ten, SEC. What do you see happening? South Carolina, Illinois, Patrick Young.
They won't be able to handle the physicality of South Carolina. I don't think so at all. I do like the quarterback at Illinois. Watching him play against Nebraska earlier in the season, obviously Illinois was able to get ranked and play had some opportunities, but they got blown out. Blown out by the top three teams, or I can't remember if Ohio State, Indiana, who was blown out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing that makes me think that Illinois is going to win. South Carolina, man.
Patrick, you're a wild.
I think South Carolina might actually. South Carolina is actually going to blow them out of the water.
Patrick, you show them, man.
It won't be close.
Take Illinois. Illinois. Show them, Patrick. Show them how smart you are. No,
I'm telling you how smart I am by choosing a winning team.
Yeah, that is what he's doing. There you go.
All right, I'm going.
Come on, man.
Well, we'll go across the board. And the last one, we'll take a break. Bring Brent Beard on. A lot to talk about. Wow.
We should have thrown Brent in on this game here. Brent would have enjoyed that.
Too smart for us. He doesn't, and he doesn't like to get mixed up with the three of us. He doesn't. It's better for his resume to stay away from us.
For
All
sure.
right, here we go. Baylor. Man, I thought Dave Aranda was done. I'm not so sure he's our head coach anyway. But man, he spit the hook out. He spit the hook out this year. Baylor taking on LSU. And that's kind of a neighborhood brawl there, you know, that whole Texas, Louisiana thing. Patrick Young, I'll let you lead off. Baylor, Dave Aranda, boy, it looked like they were going to just have a bad season, but they put it together pretty good. LSU, I don't know what the hell LSU is. Patrick, what do you got?
I know, right? Man. I'm going to choose Baylor.
Are you crazy? I'm putting down Baylor.
That's what I want. I want Baylor to win.
You can't take it back. Okay, Zach, what do you got?
I'm kind of leaning towards Baylor myself, honestly. I'm going to go Baylor too.
Okay, and I take LSU, and I just gained a game on you. Suckers. You suckers. All right. There's our first 14. Just the bowl games, I think, are choosable, okay? We'll then do our next 4 games once the college football playoff games are set, round 2. And then we'll also include Duke, Ole Miss, the Gator Bowl, and, of course, the national championship game. All right, boys, your picks are in, and we will take a break. A lot going on here at Twin Peaks. Holiday bonus card the time frame continues November 25th all the way through Christmas Eve. You can buy gift cards for your loved ones, and you get a bunch of free extra gift cards. So get over here at Twin Peaks and or online and take advantage of that. A lot of stuff going on, including this Friday. Patrick Young, note to you, this Friday, if you're in the area, December 20th, the day the Gators play their bowl game, Patrick, if you're in the area, drive by Twin Peaks this Friday, ugly sweater competition. And, Patrick, you could win this thing. I've seen some of your sweaters. You, my friend, could win this thing, okay? You get by here on Friday with, by the way, Friday, Gator Bowl game, Notre Dame, Indiana, Friday night. Saturday, 2 NFL games that matter, 3 college football playoff games, and then Sunday, an entire NFL Sunday, the greatest weekend of football, American football ever, if you ask me, coming up this weekend. You don't want to miss it. One down, a long way to go. We come back, we'll welcome Brent Beard to the show, talking some college basketball. What about Florida, North Carolina last night? Patrick Young, stay with us. We want your thoughts on the Gators starting 11-0. That on the other side, the Young and Norvelle show continues from Twin Peaks, Atlantic, and Kernan.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because When I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Oh my, here we go again. What an all-star cast we have. It's that time of year, holiday season. It is Hump Day, Wednesday. We're live at our Wednesday home. You know it by now. Twin Peaks, places packed, all kind of great specials. Christmas girls, Christmas sweaters. Brent Beard, Terry Norvelle, Patrick Young's hanging around somewhere. Zach Rothrock, I don't know where he's at, hitting buttons. He's somewhere. And then look at this guy. Look at this guy keeping an eye. Chris Kringle.
Yes.
Right there behind us, Brent Beard. How you doing, man?
SC hanging around. I'm doing well. He wants to watch all the ball tonight and the rest of the week, too.
Oh, my goodness. We've got a lot of football. Obviously, it's football season, bowl games, overall. Man, I wasn't just kidding around, and we're going to get to Gator basketball from last night and SEC basketball. But, Brent Beard, your thoughts. I've proclaimed this coming weekend, and I include Friday night, Friday night, Florida, 3:30, the Gators playing their bowl game, 3:30 Friday. That leads you right into the first ever 12-team college football playoff Friday night, Notre Dame, Indiana. The next day, 3 elimination games in college football, noon, 4, 8, with 2 NFL games interspersed that are big games.
Yes.
They are big. It's not 2 bad teams playing.
Right.
And then Sunday, a full schedule. Is that not the biggest, best football weekend in the history of American football? It's got to be.
I hope at some point this weekend we can really take a moment, because you and I have been wanting to see an extended playoff for 30 years.
Oh.
And it's finally here, and there needs to be a tremendous celebration. Now, the problem is,
what's that?
The Blue Men portal has overshadowed almost the playoffs this weekend.
I mean, I hate to say it, but what you're saying is so right.
That has to be changed at some point.
It does, because what you say, and you're so spot on, Brent. You know the game of college football. We're going to be watching, it might be Friday night, Indiana, Notre Dame.
That's right.
Loser leaves town, winner moves on. We got Patrick back. It may be Saturday, those 3 games in a row. But if a scroll runs by and it says, you fill in the blank, hot shot superstar from XYZ goes to Florida in the portal, that will supersede some of the games, won't it?
Yeah, it will.
Won't it?
It will. And we've got other issues like Alar, the quarterback at Penn State. He doesn't need to get hurt because the backup's in the portal.
Is in the portal.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Brent Beard, Terry Norvelle here at Twin Peaks. We got Patrick Young. Patrick, let's get right into it, man. What about the game last night? Florida, North Carolina. The Gators jump all over them in the first half. Florida leads by 17 at one point, 12 at half. The Gators, a classic, fall asleep at halftime. The game was over.
Sure was.
Patrick, the Gator players looked like the game was over. Just pick it up wherever you want, Patrick Young. You watched the game. The second half of last night's game looked like and felt like a what a great practice game for March Madness last night.
Yeah, we can't. That's probably the biggest test that the Gators are had, and especially when they had such a big lead and were just dominating Carolina on every aspect. I think at one point in the first half, the Gators were shooting 60% from the 3-point line, which that number is always going to come down at some point. Sure. It's rare that a team stays that high. I think and that kid Jackson, man, there's some holes there. I don't think Condon and Houck, they struggle with switching on the guards, keeping them in front. Yeah, they weren't not great at that. And then they struggle with guys in the paint that are bigger than them. Fortunately, I didn't have to worry about that with Carolina. Carolina not having a dominant big man. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that weird? Carolina
This
has
year.
a small, quick team, not a front line team. Patrick, your point is a good one.
I guarantee you, Hubert Davis, he probably challenged the heck out of his guys because they played. They didn't play well in the first half, and then the Gators, you're starting to get dominated. It's hard to turn it back on.
Really,
it's hard. But fortunately, they were able to get what they needed done. And then how about Denzel Aberdeen fouling and sending them to the line?
Wow,
at the end of the game, what are you doing?
That could have been a monumental screw up mentally by Aberdeen. Florida had no.
What is he thinking?
And he hacks a guy on the sideline, Brent Beard, to send him to the free throw line.
Oh yeah,
with a 4-point lead.
Pat, I've got to ask.
70 feet from the basket with 7 seconds left.
Simply a awful move. But fortunately, it didn't cost them the game. Now, Pat, I'm not taking anything away from Florida with this, but I want to ask you, what do you see that is wrong with North Carolina? This is not a typical Carolina team.
Really isn't. And they've lost to good teams, but they're
and they got dismantled by Alabama a few weeks ago.
They really did.
But Pat, I'm just curious, what is it do you see, or maybe even better, what you not see in that Carolina team that is concerning?
I think, if we go and look back, let's look back at that team that Hubert Davis had his first year. Like they were not a good offensive rebounding team. They had great talent, but they were not a good offensive rebounding team. And that's something Roy Williams has always had a strong, that's what the makeup of him. We're going to get to the glass and get second chance opportunities. I don't want to say that this team isn't as skilled, but maybe this is just a class. They don't have ballers, man.
Yeah,
they don't.
RJ Davis. RJ Davis had the kid Caleb Love. And then you had who was the white kid shooter with the red hair? I can't remember his name. Then
they also had
Johnson.
They had Baycott
down low.
Yeah,
dude, they weren't playing.
They don't have Baycott down low. Pat, getting back to what Brent said about Aberdeen, and he made the almost incredibly dumb foul right in front of Todd Golden. Right in front. Now,
did you see Todd Golden? He was ready to rip his head off.
Now, but what I have to ask you, Pat, you've been in a huddle a million times. Was that Aberdeen going mental block, or did some coach not tell him before you broke the huddle? Okay, guys, we're not in a foul situation. Right. Pat, what was that on Aberdeen? Do you think it looked like it was on
Aberdeen, man? He's a junior in college.
Good point.
At a Division I school that's been to the tournament.
Good point.
And not only that, Terry, if it was a center or a forward that made this foul, because those guys are more soldiers.
Yeah.
Your commander is your point guard, needing to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And grateful that was a moral lesson there for him to learn, because I didn't see anyone on the bench yelling foul.
No. Florida's bench was down. They were sitting down.
You look. Why don't you foul in that situation? You're up by 2 possessions. The time is on your side, so you don't want to stop the clock.
No.
And plus, it's even if it was, let's say, up 2, and I guess you would foul if it was like a full court shot they're trying to make, and you only want to give them 2, but you got to be careful with that too.
You do.
That was something, man.
You do. And Brent, Patrick, and you just referenced the history of North Carolina basketball. Not just Roy Williams, but North Carolina basketball prides themselves. We're big, strong, and we rebound on the offensive end. Florida won the game because they had 2 offensive rebounds. Richard got the rebound and a putback that was monstrous. And I think Hout got the rebound to go to the free throw line and put them up 4. Florida won the game. Go ahead, Pat.
And hit those free throws. He's not a great free throw shooter. He knocked him down, man.
And he had a nice game. But what about last night's game for both teams. But North Carolina, they got some work to do. They've lost 5 games. They've lost to 5 good teams.
Yes.
Florida, that was a big win. Even if Florida had pissed around and lost that game, that was a great learning experience. Florida shut it down at halftime.
Yeah.
They went in and said, "Hey, we win.
Yeah.
We're beating them.
Let's go to Christmas.
Hey, let's go to Christmas." Michael Jordan's probably in the crowd.
Yeah.
He's watching us. I thought, and you know what, Patrick, you say it all the time, and Brent, I want you to comment. The backcourt of Florida, Clayton, who didn't have a big game, by the way. Florida won a big game without Clayton scoring 28. He scored 12.
Right.
Martin and Richard, those are grown-ass men that have played a lot of big-time and they did not flinch, Brent Beard, last night.
Will Richard had his best game of the season. Sorry, Brent. Will Richard had his best game of the season.
He really did. Brent,
I'm just stunned, though, that North Carolina has no height.
Isn't that something?
They have no lean.
I know, man.
Isn't that something?
But Pat, give us some insight into this. How important was it for Florida? And we've been touching on this, but how important was it for Florida to get pushed and to actually have
great question.
Yeah, like I don't want to say, you don't want to make assumptions, but Walter didn't really seem like himself.
Yeah,
I think they really emphasized taking him away. And I think that affected how everybody else responded around him. And because he's the alpha male in that team.
He really is.
But so good for them to get that win with him not playing well, knowing that hey, we stay in a game and it comes down to no skill, it comes down to effort, it comes down to wanting it more, we can do it. We'll get nasty. We'll get dirty on the glass, Brent. We'll do what we have to. We'll get on the floor.
With you, Patrick. Florida won a big-time basketball game, and that was a road game. Say what you want, neutral site.
It was.
That was a road game.
Yeah, for sure. That was a road game.
That was
without a doubt.
North Carolina taking on the North Carolina Tower Hills. Florida won a game, and Walter Clayton, the star of stars on Florida's team, he scored 12 points. And by the way, he scored about 5 late in the game. He only had 7 or 8 points through that game. I think that was huge. And we pick at Aberdeen. He made a bonehead play. Aberdeen played a good game.
He still played good. That's the only thing. Yeah.
He played
12 points, I think.
Game. He hit
I think he had 12 points.
He directed the offense. He hit big 3-pointers. And don't forget, I've been saying this. Florida's going to run into players such as R.J. Davis. They're going to run into a couple guys. Mark Sears is a little bit like that. Really quick guys. Walter Clayton and Richard, they're not really quick. Aberdeen is a really good athlete. They're going to need Aberdeen as a defensive.
Oh, yeah.
Aberdeen, he didn't stop R.J. Davis or the other guy, Cadeau, but he at least slowed him down a little bit.
Well, they would get.
I think Elijah Martin, I think he might be the best on-ball defender.
Maybe, because he's big, too.
Maybe.
Because of his size. Yeah.
He takes it on. He embraces it.
Brent, you were saying?
There's no way that this would have happened 10 years ago. Florida is going to get tested a lot more in league play than they are in the non-conference right now. And Pat, my question is, and I know this sounds dumb, but it really isn't. Would it actually hurt Florida to lose a ball game before conference play?
They got UNF and Stetson next, my guy.
They're not going to.
No. I hear you, Brent. Yeah. I hear you, but UNF and Stetson. But then they got Kentucky. Then they got Tennessee.
Right.
Then they got Missouri. Like they might have 4 ranked games to start off conference play.
Hey, let me tell you something. SEC basketball coaches. Let me give you a heads up, Bruce Pearl and Todd Golden and Nate Oates and Rick Barnes, and I could go deeper. Let me give you a heads up. You better have your 4 or 5 or 6 speeches ready for conference losses because you're going to lose some. They play 18 games, I still think. 18.
Yes.
Hey, I would take 12 and 6 right now and run to the locker room right now. You better have your, hey, guys, this was one of 18 because did y'all see what happened last night? Everybody's enamored with Florida knocking off North Carolina. Good, solid win. SEC over. South Carolina knocked off 25th ranked Clemson.
Yeah.
It just doesn't end. The
Yeah,
SEC
that's right.
is, hey, do you
Agreed.
think North Carolina's had enough of the SEC? North Carolina's lost to Auburn, Alabama, and Florida,
They sure
and
have.
that means they haven't even played the number one team in the nation, Tennessee.
That's right. And look,
Wow.
and North Carolina has been basically dismantled
By
at some point by all those
all of
three
them.
teams.
And you know what? I know they made their run, and I'm not taking anything away from North Carolina. What they did coming out of the half, they scored, 11 in a row, 9 in a row, whatever. Florida got fat and happy in the locker room, and they were, Patrick, you've probably been there. Florida was proverbial passing cigars around at halftime, right? And they were texting their girlfriends, and they were texting their dads, hey, is Michael Jordan in the crowd? Have they right? Florida dominated that game. And I'm not taking anything away from North Carolina, but Florida probably should have won that thing by 15 going away.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Am I wrong, Pat?
I don't disagree with that. I think it's definitely a game that they should have handed. And yeah, we know North Carolina was going to make a run, a fight back, and push back at some point. But it shouldn't have. It should have been one of those runs. They throw their biggest punch here in that first 4 minutes of the second half. You withstand it, and then you get back under control with your pace and taking care of the basketball. And then getting good quality looks, getting to the free throw line. That slows the game down big time. And Florida wasn't doing it. And Condon didn't have a good game.
No, Condon
knocked down some threes.
Now, here's another big thing to think about, too, guys, is their near conference play. When does Golden, Pat, shrink that lineup a little bit? He can't play everybody in conference play. When does that start?
I think he's
down to 8 right now.
Seems to be 8 or 9. I think
I think he's down to 8 right now.
Who's coming off the bench?
He's got the 2 big guys off the bench in Aberdeen. He's got Hout and Alexis off the bench, but that gives them 4 guys on the front line, right? You've got Condon, Chinlu that Patrick hates. Chinlu,
he played good yesterday.
Condon, yes, Hout and Alexis. There's your 4 to man 2 spots. 2 guys coming off, and they don't have a lot of backcourt depth, but Aberdeen can go in and play point or 2. And a pinch,
I bet they'll steal some minutes for Clapchar. I bet you they steal some minutes for Clapchar.
The kid that can shoot it.
Yeah, I bet they find a way to get him in the game.
And what is he? Is he 6'4", 6'5"? I can't remember. What is he a tweener? What is he a tweener?
It's probably like 6'3".
Okay, so he's guard. Yeah, but the word is this kid can really shoot it, right? Can really spot up and shoot.
He shoots the ball, even though he's missed. He shoots it like he is.
Everyone's going.
Lee shoots it like everyone's going in.
Everyone's going. Yeah. But to answer Brent's question, and Pat, you hit it, I think, and Lord knows I'm not the basketball guy here, but it looked like 3 or 4 games ago that Golden said, okay, here's our 8. We're running 8. We've got our starting 5. We got 2 big guys. We got 2 big guys on the bench. So they got a 4-man rotation, which is nice. And that's 2 off the bench. That's 7. They've got 1 backcourt guy, Aberdeen, but Clayton and Martin are interchangeable. And in a pinch, Richard can help get the ball at court, break a press. He's a small forward, but he handles, right? Yeah. So he's got his 8, I think. Wouldn't you say, Pat? His 8 are pretty much And your guy Clabachar.
Best 8 he's ever. Oh man, just think if he had Colin Castleton at the 5.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Good point.
Colin at the 5 with this squad, man.
Or what if he had Patrick Young at the 5 and we were just picking on Patrick can't make a free throw. Patrick, quit fouling so much. Patrick, just that Patrick Young, he's driving me crazy.
That Patrick Young can make some hook shots though. He can do that. He can make some hook shots.
Well, look, guys, the other thing with this league right now, I heard this today in the net. The SEC has like 12 teams in the top 60.
Pat, that's ridiculous. Patrick Young, 12 teams in the top what?
60.
Holy cow. So that means 12 would get in. 64 get in or whatever.
Well, there's a thought now by these guys who do the brackets of the SEC may get 12.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
That's staggering.
That is. I've tried to prepare people, and we can do this all through January and February.
That's right.
And I'm going to ask all you guys help. We need to start preparing people now. I truly think once March Madness rolls around, not the SEC championship,
right,
not conference championship game, when the tournament rolls around, we need to prepare people. You are going to have SEC teams knocking off SEC. The math, you're going to have. The
math keeps mathing.
The math keeps mathing. Brent, you're going to have, just from the math, a Florida knocking out a Mississippi State in round 2. They can't miss each other, Pat, right? There's so many teams in. SEC is going to knock out SEC.
We'll see how many number 1 and number 2 seeds are coming from the SEC.
Ooh, there could be, gosh darn, 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes.
But no, I'm telling you, you're going to have a Florida sitting at 2 or 3, and game 2 in March Madness, they're going to match up with Ole Miss, who's 15th in the country. Ole Miss, right? You better be prepared. SEC is going to knock out SEC in the tournament.
And listen, I know Tennessee's number 1, and I'm curious what Pat thinks about this.
I'm not sure they're the best team.
Auburn may be the best team in the league.
Pat, what do you thought? Have you seen everybody, Pat?
Yeah, I think Auburn's the best team. Tennessee's good. But they're not Dalton Connect good like they were last year.
Yeah. Broome has a little bit of a shoulder right now. I think he's okay, but he's a little bit of a shoulder. But Auburn, and I love him or hate him, and I love him for 4 or 5 years, and then he wears on me.
He does.
Auburn has a hellacious coach.
They do.
Bruce Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
He could not be my coach if I owned the Boston Celtics. I don't think he'd be any good. But if he's coaching the Auburn Tigers or the Kansas Jayhawks or the North Carolina, he could be, and he certainly could be my coach in March Madness.
Well,
trying to win 6 games. I think he is a great motivating college coach.
And listen, Pearl, if he had not gotten in trouble with the NCAA with that quote-unquote barbecue that never happened in Tennessee, he may still be in Knoxville right now.
Pat, you spent a little time with him, right, around some broadcasts, and you like Bruce Pearl, I think.
I like Bruce Pearl a lot. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan. I think he's.
Could you play for him? Could you play for him?
I think so, yeah.
I'd run through a wall for him in college. Maybe when I'm 32 years old and drawing a paycheck and play for the Celtics, that might not play.
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't play for Rick Pitino.
Just think, we're trying. Dan Hurley. The Lakers are trying to hire Dan Hurley in the NBA. Come on now.
Yeah. Interesting.
And he's way more radical than Bruce Pearl.
Bruce Pearl. It is going. You guys, we've been trying to tell everybody. And we're going to turn around, and it's going to be January 4th, and we're going to say, we told you, welcome. But we've been trying to tell everybody the SEC basketball season is going to be a meat grinder, buddy.
Absolutely. It will.
And do not get all upset if you are Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee. If you go on a cold Tuesday night to Columbia, Missouri and lose, or Columbia, South Carolina and lose, or LSU, there are a lot of losses out there.
But see,
lot of losses out there.
To your point, someone's going to start like 2-4, 2-5, and everybody's going to be down on
them.
They're
done. They're not done.
And they're going to end up being a high seed in the tournament.
And they're done.
Guys,
let's wrap up hour number 1. We'll take a break, come back. Hopefully we'll have Dr. Aaron Bates. Man, what a tough situation for the Detroit Lions. They are as good, I think, as anybody in the NFL if they're not banged up. Man, the Lions are banged up. We got a lot of injury stuff to talk with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist on the other side, kicking off hour number 2, live, a Hump Day edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live from Twin Peaks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Well, I'll tell you one thing as we welcome you back to a Hump Day edition live on Wednesday from Twin Peaks at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan. We'll welcome Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist here in a moment. Brent Beard, I think we still have Patrick. We got a lot of stuff to ask Dr. Bates. My goodness, what about the weather today? I mean,
it's 80 degrees now. We've got a cold front coming through.
I get it.
That will take care of that. But
Brent, I went to lock my front door. I was busy this morning, got stuff going, worked on the computer. I probably left my house to start to get on the road to start my day. I was busy on the computer and doing some answering email, blah, blah, blah. When I was locking my front door, it was hot. It was hot today.
Humidity's up a little bit, but the good thing about it is you don't have this but a day or two this time of year.
Yeah.
This time of year, this truly is one of the greatest places to live.
Really is. Yeah, I mean, you can make fun.
The summer's another situation.
Jacksonville and South Georgia, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what? This ain't too bad. And you know what? I'm not of an age where I need South Beach and be at the club tonight until 4 in the morning. No. This ain't too bad a place.
I'll tell you what's not too bad either is having a bowl game every night.
How about that? We got one starting tonight. Last night,
we've got one at 5:30.
Last night was incredible.
It really was.
Memphis finished off a 12-win season, and they're disappointed. because they were chasing that. Memphis
really
was
are.
chasing that group of 5 bid.
Oh, yeah.
They were hanging around, hoping Boise got beat one more time.
Yeah.
And they never did. And Memphis dropped a couple.
I'll tell you one thing: Hennigan at quarterback
Nice player.
is a primetime quarterback.
Nice player, and we all saw that coming. And I think FSU fans saw it as well. Memphis was going to beat FSU.
Yes.
That
No
was
doubt.
where Mike Norvelle came from.
Yep.
Memphis had a lot of the same players.
Right.
They had the same assistant coach who got elevated.
Yes.
And I wasn't surprised at all. I do believe we have Dr. Aaron Bates. We do it every Wednesday from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Dr. Bates is kind enough to spend a few moments with us, unfortunately, talking injuries. And, Doctor, thank you so much for your time. I think we will take the next couple of Wednesdays off with Christmas on Wednesday and then New Year's the following Wednesday. But unfortunately, Doc, number one, how are you? Number two, Patrick and I saw a report from the Detroit Lions, and we both kind of stepped back and said, we got to ask Dr. Bates about this. Detroit, they've been ravished by injuries, Doc. And they're a really good team, but injuries are killing them. They lost over the weekend their running back, David Montgomery. They have 2 running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They're both 200 really good guys. Doc, talk about the report from the Lions said David Montgomery, running back, out for the season, season-ending MCL surgery because of a sprained MCL, not torn, Doc. They called it, and we double-checked it, sprained MCL surgery coming up, out for the year, not torn. Is that wacky? I don't understand that. Can you walk us through that, please, Doc?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You sound great.
Okay. So first of all, I'm doing well. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to get my wife for Christmas.
Okay.
It's coming down the wire now, but this is like me every year. So, just business as usual, right?
Nice.
But as far as Montgomery is concerned, we use these terms interchangeably, as far as the sprain or the partial tear or the tear, the ligament, things like that.
Right.
I think he probably has something called a grade 3 sprain, which is a tear of the medial collateral ligament. And it's likely it's either off of where it attaches on the tibia side or on the femoral side. And so if you get in there quickly, you can repair that and have it heal in primarily instead of having to do a reconstruction later. But that's just for the grade 3 sprains or grade 3 injuries to that ligament. If it was torn in the mid-substance, well, you really can't go in there and just, and sew that together and make that heal in just because the blood supply there isn't as good. And so they're trying to step in to hopefully improve the longevity of this guy's career over time by taking care of this ligament tear right away. Now, I will tell you, the typical injury to this is not a grade 3 sprain. It's typically a grade 1 or grade 2, which doesn't need surgery. And where it's injured typically has a good blood supply to where it heals on its own. So you can put in a brace, and you may have some weeks off, and then you get back to playing. Just like what's the quarterback for Green Bay? Jordan
Love.
Jordan Love. I believe he had an MCL sprain. But this is different.
Doc, you made me just think of something, and you do this all the time. I don't have a medical mind, and Brent, you may think of this as well. When I see an MCL, PCL, and I'm missing the last one. What's the last one?
MCL, ACL, MCL, PCL,
ACL. Okay.
LCL.
When I see those in my mind, I think almost that those ligaments are like the shape of a Band-Aid. Everything's square and all. Are they point? Might they be point? They're not rectangular, or the natural CL. Are some of them pointy at the end, or Are they? I see them as perfect rectangles, and I know that's wrong.
No, they all have different morphology, and so they all have different morphology and different thicknesses, and where they attach obviously is different. But ligaments attach bone to bone, and particularly in the knee, it can be pretty complicated because you have the two cruciate ligaments that cross in the front and the back, or down, cross in the middle. One's in the front, one in the back. So you have the anterior cruciate ligament, the ACL, then the posterior cruciate ligament, which is the PCL. But then the collateral ligaments, that's kind of a side ligament, and that's the medial collateral ligament, MCL, and the lateral collateral ligament, the LCL. So those are kind of on outside of the joint space, but kind of prevent your foot from going in or out one way or the other.
Don, quick question. Auburn has one of the better big men, center forward Jahai Broom. Last year, as Auburn people said, his shoulder popped out and then they were able to get it back in. Well, the same thing happened last night, where they think he may lose a game or two. Can you explain to us what that means? How painful is it?
Yeah, pop in, pop out.
Yeah, and what kind of treatment does he get for that?
Well, it kind of depends because it depends on how many times it's dislocated. And so if it's dislocated, if this is like the 10th time it's done, it's probably not as painful as the first time when you first stretch out those ligaments and maybe even tear that labrum. That helps keep that humeral head centered in the socket.
Right.
And so, and when you have your first dislocation at his age, you'll have a 60 to 80% chance of having recurrent dislocations throughout his lifetime. So he's following the natural history of having a dislocation at his age. And I imagine he may have had a dislocation when he was in high school. I'm just speculating, but at some point in time, that's going to need to be addressed surgically.
When you're that young and he's still, I mean, he's a big, strong dude, but he's still young. He's 21 years old or so. Can those things jump out and in without ripping stuff because they're young? You know what I mean? Because they're young still and things are still, I don't know, sinewy or whatever in there.
I don't know what that means, but yes. So it depends on the person and the person's soft tissues. If they're naturally lax, they may have a predisposition to a shoulder dislocation where it's easier for the shoulder to slip out of the joint. Whereas if the person is not as lax and they actually have an injury that causes this, but then stretches out those soft tissues, well, you still at that age you still have
Doc,
that risk.
Doc, you and I know each other. We've visited in some social settings. I'm a short, kind of thick, stock. I want to say stocky. Don't say fat. But
you're pretty stocky.
I'm more of a short, right?
Muscular, good looking.
Good. Well, yes, actually. But God, you get it. Patrick Young is 6'9" and more sinewy and long. I get a feeling if my sockets they jump out, I may tear stuff more because I'm more tight. It's like I'm a little squatty, tight boned person. Does that factor at all?
It does. Typically, you see these tall, thin folks that are a little more lanky, that are lankier. Their tissues are typically they're the body type that typically this happens to. But I've been surprised over the years in practice that I've seen some of the shorter, stockier, non-fat type folks.
Thank you.
That still have lax tissues and have this problem. So they can still have this problem. It's just that it's a little more often in the other morphology body type.
Don't you elaborate if you would? At some point, if that problem keeps going on, would you advise
to tighten up or something?
Yeah, to how to tighten that up? Is surgery or to get it more stabilized?
Yeah. Yes, most definitely. Because it's going to continue to happen. And what happens is there's a shear force on the articular cartilage that happens, and you can continue to have further injury to the labrum, and then you may actually have some what we call bony involvement, where you continue to chip off pieces of bone of the socket, and continue to have a bony issue on the humeral head as well on the ball. And when that happens, well, then there's even a greater risk of continued dislocation. Now you have a bigger problem.
Is the only way, Doc, is the only way to, as Brent was saying, is the only way to stabilize that region that keeps slipping out surgery, or because at that age, your body's kind of your body probably, right? Is it just surgery, or is there anything you can do non-surgical to tighten everything to keep it from popping out?
No, it's ultimately it's surgery. I mean, you can do all the physical therapy and trying to strengthen the dynamic stabilizers around the shoulder, like the rotator cuff and all the other larger muscles. But if you don't tighten up the static stabilizers surgically, you're always going to have that issue.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha. Go ahead,
Doc. The thing with this guy we're talking about from Auburn, I mean, he may be the #1 draft choice.
Big time player.
He really
Johanny
is.
Broom, yeah. Big time.
So would it behoove him to get that done? If he got it done, let's say the end of the season, which is March, if he gets drafted.
They draft in June, right?
Yeah. How much of a downtime, how much of recovery time would he have?
Good question.
He needs about 3 months, 3 or 4 months.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Doc, last thought with you, Dr. Aaron Bates. We do it every Wednesday. He's kind enough to visit with us and kind of walk us through all the injuries of note in the sports world. Doc, of course, with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Doc, staying with the Detroit Lions, I'm telling you, man, they're a good football team. They have literally been ravaged with injuries across the board. Montgomery's out. We talked about. Doc, I know you haven't seen his pictures. You remember when it happened? Their great defensive lineman, Aiden Hutchinson, he went out in week 6. I want to throw that to you, week 6, with a fractured tibia-fibia. We are heading into week 16. That's 10 weeks later. What is that, 2.5 months?
Mm-hmm.
There's whispers, and Lord knows if any franchise that has a legitimate chance of making a run in the playoffs, if any franchise deserves a guy coming back, Aiden Hutchinson, fractured tibia-fibia, week 6, heading into week 16. Could he be even close to coming back, or what are your thoughts?
Yes. It just depends on his strengthening and rehab. I mean, the bone is the fracture is likely healed by now, because he got it repaired or stabilized with a load sharing device, and that's what the rod is, or we call it intermedullary nail. And so when you get that, I mean, you're able to put weight on it almost immediately, and then over that 6-week period, it solidifies and gets strong enough where you don't have as much pain, and you can really work on strengthening and range of motion and all that stuff. And so it kind of depends on how his rehab is going and how his strength is coming back, and
but
obviously
what about,
making sure that he healed.
You used the word strength right there. With that type of injury, from a lower body, from the waist down, he can't do any weight work, can he? I mean,
sure he can.
Are his quads and ham and calves going to be weak as hell? Can he do any weight work?
Well, yeah, I mean, he can. I mean, exactly right. I mean, those things are going to be weak, and the only way to really strengthen them is to do that work.
But he's got a fractured tibia-fibia. How can he do it?
He used to have a fractured tibia and fibula, but that is likely healed now. So once the bone is healed, then that's another issue. I mean,
I'd be scared
mentally and emotionally coming back from something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And psychologically, that's probably one of the biggest issues.
Because I mean, Doc, you guys know I squat about 1,000 pounds, but if I was injured, I'd be scared to do 900 pounds.
Right.
So he could theoretically come back and be in the ballpark of Aiden Hutchinson with this much time. I mean, and obviously we've got 3 more weeks. They're going to be in the playoffs, so he doesn't have to come back tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, I mean, when he first comes back, he's obviously not going to be himself, right? But maybe 85% or 90% Aiden Hutchinson is better than what they can put on the field right now.
Good point. Good point, Doc.
Doc, you brought this up, and it's worth pursuing a little bit more. After you're healed, the psychological part of it,
that's tough.
And just getting back, how do you deal with that? Do you do some of that yourself? Do you have for lack of a better term, a sports psychologist you can send him to? How does that work?
So I don't have that personally or in our practice or anything like that, but there's certain people that we can send them to, and a lot of times the physical therapist and athletic trainer do a lot of that too, because they're with the person almost every day.
Yeah, right.
And as they start to do more sports specific type training, sports specific exercises, that's where some of the psychological stuff comes into play as well. Now, are they the best at doing the sports psychology piece? No, because they're not trained specifically in that, but they do it enough to know, how to talk to them and, how to get down to the nitty gritty of what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And
But Doc, I would think that between yourself, post-op, physical therapist, post-op, obviously, that patient, I would think that your patient might give you a lot of signs that he or she is mentally scared. And I don't mean that bad, but you or the PT may say, hey, man, we got to start working on this guy or this young lady's mental aspect, right? Wouldn't you think? I would think that they would say, well, Doc, okay, I know we just finished up and it looks like the new x-rays and new scan looks great, but gosh darn, I'm scared, Doc. Do they give you verbal, guidance kind of? You can, right? I mean,
well, sometimes you can read them. Sometimes you miss too.
Okay.
But I mean, I've had the folks say, "Oh, I'm not going to play anymore. I don't care," or whatever, And that's when they start feeling better. Like, "Oh, I think I'm going to go back and try and play."
Yeah.
And I always tell folks, particularly coming off something like an ACL, where I'll clear them one day. Let's say they're 6, 7 months, 8 months out. I said, "Listen, you're not going to. You think you're going to be able to do everything that you want to do on the field or the court or whatever, but game time and reaction time, it takes a while for that to kind of go back to where you were prior to the injury. And so even though you have the capability of doing it, that's a psychological part. So kind of just warn them on that, on some of that. So you got to have to ease into that. You want to try to do, game time situation in practice, to try to, work on that reaction time.
Doc, we'll let you go with this. Obviously, I think we're going to take a couple weeks off with Christmas and New Year's falling on Wednesdays. Have you had in your office, have you had a lot of Christmas injuries, guys on ladders that are falling and on the roofs that are, do you see that this time of year, holiday season?
Every year, falling out of the attic or up to the ladder in the attic, getting Christmas stuff down, putting up lights on the roof, those types of things. Yeah, it happens every year.
Are they honest with you when they come in, or do they have some cooked up story about saving a nun crossing the street or something, or are they honest with you this time of year?
Most of them are honest, but sometimes you have to pull it out of them.
Yeah, the old putting the lights out, the ladder fall.
Oh yeah,
wifey's holding the ladder and she walks away because the cell phone's ringing and there goes the ladder and
the gutter breaks.
And the gutter breaks. Hey Doc, thanks so much. I don't think we'll visit until the first of the year. Safe holidays for you. I don't know if you're traveling with your lovely wife and your family, but man, we appreciate everything you do with our show. You've made it a very, very better show. Every Wednesday's better because of you. And we wish you a great holiday season the rest of the way, buddy.
Thanks so much, guys. You guys have a Merry Christmas as well, and Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the new year.
You got it. That is our buddy, Dr. Aaron Bates. He's with us every Wednesday, and the good folks from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists are with us. We asked Doc, we've had him a couple of years now, but no, seasonal injuries.
Yeah.
It's the Christmas season.
Sure.
You and me and a dog named Blue.
Yes.
We think we can go ahead and scale that ladder.
Oh yeah. Or slide down the chimney.
Or slide down the chimney or get on the roof, right?
Yeah.
And year after year, they come in
Right.
just like when we talked to Doc. Spring will roll around, right? And we've all been hibernating.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing a lot of outdoor activity. And
Sure.
Doc's been with us a couple of years. Late March, April, I'll ask him the same question. Doc, are you
sure.
seeing a bunch of spring, the
Right.
summer, the warm weather? We're playing and we hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the Achilles goes
Yeah.
and the ankle goes and the shoulder goes.
Oh, yeah.
No, man, we've been hibernating. Let's go. Let's play. Let's run. Let's jump. And you pay for that a lot of times.
You do. I know we're going to a break.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're fine. We got time.
A couple of things I saw. One, Desmond Howard give an opinion. I still at some point it's a time for Desmond to retire.
And he's cute Desmond though. He's cute Desmond with a Heisman. He's from a big school with a big alumni.
We haven't had a chance to talk about this.
What did he say?
Well, it's not so much him. The other thing I saw during this was Notre Dame plays Indiana Friday night. My question to you is, and we don't know the parameters of this.
Okay.
But did Marcus Freeman get your typical lifetime contract here? I mean, he got an extension and a raise that puts him up among the leaders in college football. A, B, Terry, should they have done that?
And they've played nobody.
No.
I mean, and to serve me right, the college, and I don't have it in front of me. I guess I do right here. But to serve me right, this would happen. But if Boise State and Notre Dame make the tournament and play the national championship game, and I don't even know if they can, I still stand by Notre Dame basically did not even have to kick the football off. They were in their schedule was so bad.
Right.
But they're Notre Dame.
And they're not in the conference either.
They're not. They didn't even have to play the season. They got to pass right in.
Yeah.
They have done nothing to deserve playing Friday night. And Boise State, I'm sorry. I know they've got the runner-up Heisman guy. But Boise State, in my opinion, and they could win the national title, and I could eat all the crow that you want to feed me. Boise State has a bye, and Boise State has to win 3 games to win the national title versus 4 for a bunch of other teams. Why? Why, Brent Beard? Why? Why are they even in it?
Here's the tweak that's coming, and this has been talked about a lot this week. Is in 2026 when they expand. They may do away with the buys and just do a, for lack of a better word, a college basketball bracket 1 through 16 and do it that way.
Let me ask you this, and we'll go to break. We'll come back and slowly wrap up the show. Brent Beard's here on a Wednesday live from Twin Peaks. You grew up in Alabama. You've been to the great stadium in Tuscaloosa many times. You've been to the great stadium. I've never been to Tuscaloosa. I've been to Auburn a bunch. Great stadium.
It is.
You've been to a billion big Florida football games in Gainesville. I'll just use Florida for example. I mean, would it be, if you gave Florida, you don't have to play round 1.
Right.
You do have to play round 1, but you get to play in Gainesville.
Yes.
Versus not play.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be an incredible advantage for Florida
right now. Oh, my God. Somebody to have to go beat Florida in
be sitting on the flag
any year that they qualify.
Absolutely.
You know, or you get a week off and play 1 less game. But, my God, Boise State playing the Mountain West schedule would only have to win 3 games to win the national title versus 4 out of the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Why do I have a big problem with that?
And Arizona State has a bye.
Yes.
Now, look, I can
How?
I can deal with that a little better than I can Boise.
I can as well. The Arizona State schedule is much better than Boise.
Yes.
But still, even Arizona State, they popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did.
Did they play anybody?
I mean, they deserve credit for being able to do this. But look, you're number one. You're still.
Did Arizona State or Boise have a discernible tougher path and got a bye than Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely
playing
not.
the gauntlet that
Absolutely
Tennessee
not.
played.
No.
And here's Tennessee going to Columbus, Ohio.
Here's one of the things that people are not happy with the committee about. Strength of schedule was basically the number one criteria, and this committee ignored that.
But they don't use it.
Virtually ignored it.
You and I were saying that 8 weeks ago.
Yes.
We were going, wait a minute.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious. Why do they love to say strength of schedule, but they don't use it?
No. And another big thing of these
So
playoffs,
take it out.
Listen, if Ohio State gets waxed, is day gone Monday?
Hold that thought. Let's come back on the other side, and we'll run the show to the end. Brent Beard hanging around, but my God, has that happened quick in Columbus.
Yeah. And James Franklin's not a whole lot
No,
better.
No, and also I want you to comment on those two guys, and also want you to comment on Franklin. And there was one other guy talking about the transfer portal, but they're in the tournament right now. I want my coach talking about the tournament.
Yeah.
Worry about the portal
absolutely.
later. We may totally agree that it's a bad calendar.
Yeah.
But why
That's got to be
James,
changed.
why is James Franklin talking portal 3 nights from Winter Lever Town?
Well, and in fairness, his first 6 questions may have been about the portal.
Maybe he's got to blow that off, doesn't he? And say, hey,
yeah,
I've got a big fish to fry.
Absolutely. Sure you do.
Brett Beard, Terry Norvelle, and you, and even Chris Kringer when we come back, putting a landing gear on this Hump Day edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live from Twin Peaks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding with Bold City Heating and Air. It's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Here we go. Man, look at that gorgeous shot of downtown Jacksonville. I think Chris Kringle's singing in the background there. I don't know what that sounds like. A dog getting run over by a car. Who's that singing? He knows if you've been Patrick Young and bad or good or Terry. For goodness sakes,
Don't be so ornery, Terry.
You're back, man. How you been,
Don't
man?
be so ornery.
Hey, what's your
we're landing the plane. Don't be so
what
ornery.
is your as we welcome you back to a Wednesday edition at Twin Peaks? What's your next? Do you know your next JU game or SEC Network? What do we got cooking? Whoa, whoa! What was that, Brent?
I don't know what it is. It was big.
It was a drone. It was a drone just flew by. Shoot that drone down, my God! What the hell was that, Patrick?
It's a Whopper. It's a double Whopper.
Let me bring that back up.
Really?
Bring that back up. Holy, that's not a double Whopper. What the heck?
No, it may be a triple Whopper.
Are you going to eat that all by yourself, Patrick?
Yeah.
Will the dog get a little bit of that, Pat?
No, absolutely not. No.
All the stuff falling out of your mouth, it will.
Both of dogs are so spoiled. They get whatever they want.
Yeah.
So,
what's the shirt you got rocking right there? Chomp this. What? One up.
Chop this one up.
For okay.
You got this from Sean.
Like that.
You know, he's trying to get, and I like the idea. You know, what is a group of alligators called? You guys know?
A gaggle.
A herd.
A herd. A congregation of gators.
That's pretty good.
Gator.
He's trying to get this thing to catch on. I don't know how we'll use it, but hey, when you come, we're going to church on Saturdays in the swamp.
I like that. Oh,
I like it a lot. Brent, what do you got? We got about 20 minutes, 15 minutes before we get out of here. News and notes, Brent Beard, college, basketball, football, baseball. What do we got? What are we missing? What do we need to hit? We got the bowl game started.
First off, real quick, Brent, if our fans didn't know, our watchers, sadly, Reigns was undressed.
I'm glad you brought that up. That there was there was an interesting article in the Times-Union today, and I encourage people to read it. It was about the big schools like Miami Northwestern and the ones that have kind of run Chaminade. Booker T.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
St. Thomas. The article was basically I think they basically had this. I forgot what the category is. It's like city versus rural, or something like that. Well, anyway, what they've solved this year is, and I don't know if they go back and try to fix this, but the powerhouses not only won this year, but they won going away.
Yeah, and you know, I'm all for obviously Northwestern and Reigns.
Yeah, what kind of state championship game is
Reigns, Jacksonville Reigns, Miami Northwestern are on par with each other. They're big, city schools.
They're factories.
Yeah,
almost.
I get that, but when and you know, sometimes a game just gets away from you. Northwestern's probably not 41 points better than Reigns.
Yeah,
but when you you can catch what's the little area right down below Gainesville, Alachua or Newberry. Newberry. Yeah. I've seen, and I'll just pick them. I remember them. Newberry made it all the way to the state finals at 2A or whatever, and then they were running into a Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa type 2A team, and it just didn't seem fair.
No, yeah,
it just didn't seem fair.
It's really not. You remember we used to have a situation here in the teams, they would play each other, and then they played Lincoln in Tallahassee. Yeah. You remember when Lincoln was really good?
Really good.
Well, look, you've done enough.
Yeah.
High school football as far as doing the championship games. But I'm glad Pat brought that up. I'll be curious how they deal with that.
You? And you know what? One thing to be fair, that and Patrick and Brent, to be fair with the powers that be that run high school athletics, the state of Florida. Think about the state of Florida. Okay, you've got this long panhandle that goes, sideways, right. And then the state goes straight up and down for a long way. Mm-hmm. One of the big issues is, particularly that long panhandle, if a lot of people want to cut the state up in fourths,
sure,
boom, boom, boom. Well, the top panhandle is very less populated. You can drive hours. You can drive hours from Jacksonville to Pensacola.
You sure can.
And go through little population.
Right.
But if you go down, you start hitting Orlando and Daytona, Orlando, even Jacksonville, you start going down. So Florida is an awkward state to cut into quarters. And a lot of states do that because there's a chunk of Florida that's just woods and swamp.
It is. Did you see where Teddy Bridgewater,
is the
coach Miami Northwestern, is going back to the NFL?
No.
Yes.
That's what he said. Did you see that?
What he said yesterday.
As an assistant coach?
Yeah. I'm not.
So he's going to be one and done.
Look. I don't know if he meant if he's going back coaching or playing.
It's got to be coaching.
I would think.
Did you guys see where it looks like Michael Vick has taken a job with Norfolk State?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Michael Vick will get back into coaching, and everybody's correlating that to Dion. But Michael Vick, a quarterback way ahead of his time.
Well, he was.
His style of play was way ahead of his time, and his style of play is now what is coveted in the NFL.
It is.
So
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
If he can go coach a couple of years and show that he knows how to motivate and coach, he may be a guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I don't think motivation is going to be an issue. But Michael Vick, he's a very mild-mannered guy.
He learned a lot from that awful dog.
Yeah, I think he
situation.
Did. And I think he grew up
a lot after that.
Didn't he? Yeah, it appears
he did.
It appears he grew up, and obviously we're dog lovers. Who's not? And what he was, even if he was ancillarily involved, he was involved, and it was terrible. But you know what? That was 10, 12 years ago, and much to a lesser degree, I'll bring up Lane Kiffin. People rip on Lane. Well, he flopped here and he flopped there. Well, he was 30 years old. And that was 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just gotta let time and life passes by, and right, Pat, you just kind of you mature and you're better for it in a weird way.
And if you listed the top 15 college football coaches, Kiffin's in that.
Oh, he's certainly in that. He's certainly in that.
I guess it just doesn't help you when you've handled those situations where maybe you didn't have a good start at something, and maybe your character, maybe you weren't, as you say, Terry, belligerent coach on the way out. Just things that'll make people like, man, I thought that dude was better than that,
I'm going to bring a new topic in. We got about 10 minutes, and it's maybe Terry out of left field, but it was on my notepad today, and it was spurred on by the headlines in the NFL this morning. I looked at, and it looks like Kirk Cousins might be done. They're gonna let Michael Penix play. Will Levis, 2 years in, may be done. He just didn't work out.
True.
You look around, guys like Tommy DeVito, even though he's injured now, were given a second and third chance. The more I see these stories at the quarterback position, I'm convinced that the first thing the NFL has to do, and I don't know if there's an answer. I don't know what the answer is before the NFL thinks about expanding again, and they're thinking about it.
Sure they are.
They're flirting with Europe, and they're flirting with Mexico and Canada now, and they're playing again. And this has been a bugaboo, an issue for the NFL for about 30 years. And I don't know what the answer is. The NFL's got to figure out a way to get more than 20-ish NFL-level quarterbacks.
Yes.
You can't expand because right now there are 32 franchises, and for about the last 30 years, counting when Jacksonville got in, when the last 4 teams got in, Jacksonville, Carolina, they gave I guess Cleveland got back in, right? The last 30 years, when they added 4 franchises to get to 32, there have only been about 20 NFL level quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And
if
that many, Patrick and Brent, and I don't think the NFL can expand anytime soon until they figure out how can we get more NFL level quarterbacks, because there's nothing uglier than an NFL franchise with a sub NFL quarterback. It's terrible football.
Yeah, like Tennessee.
Yes.
The Titans.
Yes.
Well, see, college football is struggling with the same thing. As they get as we get into the playoffs, the argument that you're getting now from the coaches is, if you're asking us to play that many more games, look, it's not like everybody. It's not like everybody plays for 15 games. But if you're going to ask to do that, you've got to increase the rosters, don't you?
And Patrick, I don't know what the answer is, but if I go to you, Patrick Young, right now, and you've got unlimited finances and you've got unlimited location on the face of the earth, and you say, Goodell, I've got Germany locked up, Italy locked up, London locked up, and Mexico City locked up. I've got the money. Whatever you want, I'll buy. I've got it all locked up. The stadiums are going to be tip-top. I want 4 franchises. Right now, the NFL would be stupid because there's not enough good quarterback play for 32, much less 36.
Yeah, but
right? I mean, and I don't know what the answer.
You know who will become the starters? All the backup quarterbacks in what's the commercial? It's not Progressive.
But that's not the answer. That would be
You don't think Colt McCoy is
right? No,
Definitely not.
That would be terrible football. Am I wrong?
Well, it would.
The NFL can't stock 32 franchises, and they haven't been able to stock 32 franchises with not superstar. What are we doing?
We're gonna miss out on this. DeVito.
What was that?
What's his thing?
Oh, you were doing the Tommy. I had no idea what gyration you were doing.
Zach, I thought he was having a seizure there.
I get it now.
Baker Mayfield was doing it recently.
Yeah, he did the DeVito. He did. I remember that.
Thank you.
I think a part of this there might be a solution to this with the whole the NIL and the transfer portal actually might help this, because guys are going to stay in college longer. They're going to develop longer. I mean, we've seen a lot of people were kind of dismissing Bo Nix, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that him playing, whatever did he play, 40, 50 years in college? I think that's obviously helped him out. Whereas a guy like Anthony Richardson, there's going to be less Anthony Richardsons and more Bo Nixes.
A freshman. To where he is now, he was not good at all as a freshman.
Yeah,
hey, I tip my hat to Bo Nix.
I do too.
If Terry Norvelle took Truth Serum 4 years ago, Terry, do you think Bo Nix has a chance in the NFL? What? Who?
Well, that point,
who?
At that point, he did.
Yeah. But the NFL, before they can think about expanding anymore, they've got to figure out their quarterback position. The NFL is a quarterback league.
Yeah.
And think about it, guys. The last 30 years, there haven't been anywhere near 32 quality quarterbacks.
No.
The back half, after about 20, it's terrible.
But you and I and Pat,
terrible.
All 3 of us know, and Zach, that if they get a chance to expand,
in a heartbeat.
They'll figure the quarterback's way low on the totem pole.
Isn't it funny though that the NFL, and they want more than seriously, there are 32 franchises right now. In you guys' estimation, how many 20? Are there 20 quarterbacks that are NFL worthy and 12 that are not? I think that's close.
That probably
until they they figure out how to fix that. And I don't know how you fix that, but every single freaking year, this time of year, there are 12 quarterbacks
Jalen
that
Hurts
you
is
go,
in the league leading.
why are they in the league?
He's not playing. Like Jalen Hurts isn't playing great.
I mean, winning. why is how is Tommy DeVito in the league
category?
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel you there. Oh, say that again.
Who are you referencing? What quarterback? You said you wouldn't put him in a great.
I'm looking at you when you say maybe 20. It made me want to look at the teams and think, okay, yeah, Kyler Murray's okay. Yeah, Lamar, just go through the list and I'm like, oh yeah, he's awful. Yeah.
But
what
I mean,
were they thinking?
I don't want to pick on that. I don't want to pick on this guy, but I mean, and we had a list from a couple weeks ago. Some of the names were Tommy. I saw Tommy DeVito in college. He was terrible.
Yeah.
And he's been given a job 2 or 3 times. He's terrible. And what was that list we had, Pat, of guys that are drawing paychecks in the NFL? And it's this way every year. The bottom 12 quarterbacks, you're like, they're terrible.
Well,
terrible. Cooper Rush and Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Who are these guys?
Well,
they're terrible.
Something you alluded to a minute ago. I'm wondering if the pendulum's going to swing back to this. Instead of getting googly-eyed at all these dual threat guys, are we going back to your Peyton Manning who can read defenses and is accurate in throwing the ball?
Maybe. Or Patrick and Brent, and we got 3 minutes. Maybe the NFL rules have gotten they've gone so much to the quarterback. The game is on the quarterback
and the offense.
Maybe the rules have made it
too
hard. Yeah, maybe they've made it too hard. That one position has to carry too much weight.
Yeah,
yes, but there are not good quarterbacks. After about 20, the quarterback playing terrible.
Stat. We shouldn't have wins as a great like litmus or metric for quarterback stats outside, because wins, quarterback, they're probably responsible for 70%, 80% of an outcome of a game, but game-winning drives. Game-winning drives. That should be. We should put more emphasis on that, I believe.
Yeah.
But if there's a way in the rules, to lessen the power or impact of what the quarterback does and make defense somehow more important. Special teams a little bit more.
Maybe we've made.
I agree with you, man.
Maybe the NFL has made the position of quarterback too hard. And you're always, every year, you're only going to have about 10, 12, 15 that can make it. You're just never going to get 25, 27, 20 because
maybe they got too excited on Tom Brady. Maybe we'll blame Tom Brady for this.
Yeah.
Well, the thing Pat said
bring back the running back. Bring back the running back.
Jalen Hurts is struggling. Well, one of the reasons they keep winning is Saquon Barkley is having the year that he has.
Bring back the running back.
And to your point, I was just thinking the same thing is eventually, and you know how the pendulum swings, both of you.
Yeah.
Is will the league in 5 years maybe embrace the run more than they are now?
Maybe they've gone so far quarterback centric that you just can't keep up. There's only going to be 15, 18, 20 high level, and there's always going to be 12 because there's a lot of bad quarterback play in the NFL. Quarterback play.
Ultimately, I'll ask you this question. What other position on the football team, the season is pretty much over if the quarterback is out? Is there another position on the field where you can say a team has no chance?
That is a great.
Absolutely.
That is a great point. Sure. You know what? You can steal a season here and there with a backup, but for the most part, if your number one guy goes out, it just wasn't your year.
Yeah. That's right.
And you know what? Your defensive
I'm
end,
not
you can
trying
find
to
a
say all
guy.
these guys are replaceable. There will be a drop off, but season isn't over if you have a backup safety starting now. You know, if you're
well said.
Fifth string, they're
well
going to
all
not
right, guys,
be
we got
as
to get out of
good,
here. Pat, that is a great talking point. We'll get into that hopefully as we go. This topic can't go away. 30 seconds left. Let me wrap things up. Thank you to our good friends here at Twin Peaks. Tomorrow, live at Sliders Oyster Bar. And remember, if you're looking for a place to watch Florida's bowl game on Friday, kickoff 3:30, we're on the air live at 4 at Bricks. Come out Friday, watch the game with us. We'll do the show, and we'll get into the college football playoff, Notre Dame and Indiana as well. For Brent Beard, Zach Rothrock, of course, Patrick Young, and Dr. Bates. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everybody.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.